Oh yeah, no good for you. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm trying. I'm trying. Pretty little mama put that shit on. She don't need a stylist. No mama in love with V-Long. Gave it to her good. She tweeted she can't leave me alone. Hated that I'm toxic. Keep on calling a nigga and it's a struggle. Think I'm supposed to turn invincible the day I say I love her. Guess I'm no good. I'm no good for you if honest. I'm no good. I'm no good, girl, but I'm trying. I'm no good. Ooh, I'm no good for you if honest. I'm no good. No good, no good. Now I got her pissed off. Going through my phone again. I hate I left it unlocked. Trying to figure out when Shawty number got unblocked. Spanish when she mad, says she fucking with me, no minds. Living on the road is a struggle, feeling alone, baby. I just wanna wrap you in my arms, won't let you go, baby. If you go, you know that our house won't be no home. Told me I'm a contradiction and I'm fucked up in this soul. Guess I'm no good. I'm no good for you if honest. I'm no good. I'm no good, girl, but I'm trying. I'm no good. Ooh, I'm no good for you if honest. I'm no good. I'm no good, no good, no good.
Just how you feel. Keep your head inside the bottle, and I'll just keep cutting your clothes. You spend your life in constant sorrow, and I'll just pretend I'm fine. 'Cause only once the drugs are done do I feel like dying, do I feel like dying. 'Cause only once the drugs are done I feel.
Lately I've been drowning in motherfucking gin bottle. Fucking with a new model tonight, but I know it ain't right. Missed calls when you hit my phone, so it's throwing off your head right. You text me and the message say deliver, so you know it ain't dead right. Now maybe I'm just like my dad, that's what mama gon' say right. But you say you gon' ride or die, so you still my bae, right? You got too much that you dealing with now. You say you gon' leave me. You got 2 kids that you brought in my life, you know they need me. I got problems of my own, I need you, and you know I ain't needy. And you the only drug I need. Lil' mama, don't leave me lonely.
Once the drugs are done,
I feel like dying. I feel like dying. Only once the drugs are done. I feel like dying right here. Yeah. Yeah, she don't have a phone no more. Been calling her mom like, where you been? I been at the club too much. I'm smoking hookah and sipping on gin. I been out in Houston with Brian, fucking up Barry 29, throwing all the ones on her just to see the ass go round. Shawty asked where I'm from, throwing that as my song. When I wrote about she little bitch, fucking on my head now. After I call your phone, hoping you come back home. Girl, your love's my drug. Without you, baby, I've been sober. Missed calls when you hit my phone, so it's throwing off your head right. You text me and the message say deliver, so you know it ain't dead right. Now maybe I'm just like my dad, that's what mama gon' say right. But you say you gon' ride or die, so you still my bae, right? You got too much that you dealing with now. You say you gon' leave me. You got 2 kids that you brought in my life, you know they need me. I got problems of my own, I need you, and you know I ain't needy. And you the only drug I need. Lil' mama, don't leave me lonely.
only once the drugs are
I feel like dying. I feel like dying. Only once the drugs are done. I feel like dying right here.
Oh yeah, Sharina. Oh yeah. If you haven't checked him out yet, Illmatic. He's nice. I love his music. He's a newer artist on the rise, but he's nice. Mhm.
A lot of men these days, they're still trying to have fun, they're still trying to party. You would think because a certain age, just some of these men that I encounter are, you would think that they'll be over it. And they're not. They still want to everything with two legs, you know?
He another nigga she won't see no more. Long text thread saying he won't cheat no more. Just another line, shawty don't believe no more. Came a long way out from Westport Road. Tryna play it off, but she ain't at her best no more. Man, she gave it all, she ain't having sex no more. But she still wake up in the morning and still jaded. Wake up in the morning, light a blunt and get faded. She won't reminisce about love when she high enough. But she still wake up in the morning and still jaded. Wake up in the morning, light a blunt and get faded. She won't reminisce about love when she high enough. He another nigga she won't see no more. Long text thread saying he won't cheat no more. Just another line, shawty don't believe no more. Came a long way out from Westport Road. Tryna play it off, but she ain't at her best no more. Man, she gave it all, she ain't having sex no more. But she still wake up in the morning and still jaded. Wake up in the morning, light a blunt and get faded. She won't reminisce about love when she high enough. But she still wake up in the morning and still jaded. Wake up in the morning, light a blunt and get faded. She won't reminisce about love when she high enough.
Mm.
I fuck with you and I got valid reasons. Wouldn't write these songs if I ain't really mean it. She asked me, baby, have you ever cheated? Dance around that question like a ballerina. She like, you an angel when I hear you singing. But in the bed, boy, you a fucking demon. She shine already, jewelry's never needed. Still gon' cop them stones for my little diamond diva. Hate I'm lost out on the road. Wanna be right where you are. Love letters that you wrote, keep them closer to my heart. Shining when I'm out on stage, but you what's lighting up this star. Hope you never get it twisted, confident in who you are. Hate I'm gone when them winter winds get brisky as they are. Hold it down and just know I'm coming home to keep you warm. Cold world, gotta keep a burner on me. Leave them dead before I leave you lonely. I fuck with you and I got valid reasons. Wouldn't write these songs if I ain't really mean it. She asked me, baby, have you ever cheated? Dance around that question like a ballerina. She like, you an angel when I hear you singing. But in the bed, boy, you a fucking demon. She shine already, jewelry's never needed. Still gon' cop them stones for my little diamond diva. 3:15, I know what she wants. Said I better be alone when she called my phone. Girl, I'm on the way, I'm at the red light. She ignored all the signs saying that I shouldn't come. So to open up the door, I'll be there about 4. Got her thinking about her past and the reason she alone. Finally made it to her home, but before we get it on, shawty asking all the things she won't let go. Is you gon' find me, then you gon' leave me? She say, tell me, nigga, be honest. She said, don't tell me that you gon' keep me. If you gon' leave me, nigga, be honest. Told her that trust me, gotta believe me. Even though damn well that ain't honest, yeah. That ain't honest, yeah. Knowing damn well that ain't honest. Yeah, I call your phone, you call my bluff. You say you never not picked up for me. It's right before you cussing me out. You hear my songs, you know what's up with me. I thought I had my ducks in a row, but now you figured me out. Shawty know I ain't calling. All my late nights turning into early mornings. Sipping on tequila got me fucking till the morning. Gave it to me good, now I'm nodding off yawning. We could roll one if you want, girl, I'm all in. Only fuck once, how I got your ass falling. Shawty want love, but she know that I'm a doggin'. She'll just be another one I mention in the song when the beat cut on. Still wanna hear her name sung in the song, goddamn. Lil' mama from the hills, call her ass Roxanne. When I call her, know she leaving where she is. Saying she ain't got a man if she did. I write my wrongs in these songs, yeah, I just write when I'm wrong. I hate the vibe when you gone, don't know myself anymore. Drink my first bottle, it's gone, you know I drink by the fifth. We got a show in your city, the venue's right where you live. I'm praying you make it out and I wanna see your ass shouting all of my lyrics. You used to do it before we had got into it. I pray you forgive me, I hate the fact you ain't with me. Hope when we come to your city, you find the time to get with me. Yeah. I call your phone, you call my bluff. You say you never not picked up for me. It's right before you.
Could it be you calling me down? That foolish heart turns at the stars. All that I am is all that you see. You don't need nobody else, and you're putting this all on me. Forget no way to love, just open your eyes. Just hold out your hand, place it to mine. Forever it's you, forever it's me. You don't need nobody else, and you're putting this all on me.
Yeah.
Forget
Ride around the city with my 9 on me. Ride around New City and new times on with uncomfortable. Tryna shine out, don't play me, you gotta grind for it. Got Lord on the way, now I be damned if I ain't trying for him. Ride around the city with my 9 on me. Ride around New City and new times on with uncomfortable. Tryna shine out, don't play me, you gotta grind for it. Got Lord on the way, now I be damned if I ain't trying for him. Damn if I ain't trying for him. Wishing I could be around more. I've been working so much lately, I ain't spending no time off. So said we finna hit the road, I hate leaving my lady home. Traveling ain't nothing new, but next month I baby do. Everything I do is for the ones who I love most. Yeah. Yeah, family, they need me, so you know that I'll be just, yeah. You know that I'll be just right around the city with my 9 on me. Right around New City and new times on with uncomfortable. Tryna shine out, don't play me, you gotta grind for it. Got Lord on the way, and I'll be damned if I ain't trying for him. Right around the city with my 9 on me. Right around New City and new times on with uncomfortable. Tryna shine out, don't play me, you gotta grind for it. Got Lord on the way, and I'll be damned if I ain't trying for him. Who bought them shoes you got on it? Who bought that coupe you ride around it? Who the one who for you till late night? You know I do that shit, just tell me I'm right. If I'm right, how you riding? Are you down for the ride? Don't fuck with me for the diamonds. Wanting me by your side until we get in a fight and you be gone for the night. Is saying don't leave, knowing damn well a mama gon' leave. I'll be better on my own, on my fucking lonely. People hear a couple songs where they fucking know me. I've been drinking on the road, trying to duck the police. I've been spending time alone, trying to get to know me. I'm still here, I'm trying to heal, I got so many traumas. I pour my heart on the floor for it and watch it dance on it in red bottoms. Who bought them shoes you got on it? Who bought that coupe you ride around it? Who the one who for you till late night? You know I do that shit, just tell me I'm right. If I'm right, how you riding? Are you down for the ride? Or fuck with me for the diamonds? Wanting me by your side until we get in a fight and you be gone for the night. In the mood, you choosing violence, you gon' set it all. Got someone who treats you right, but you still doing wrong. You know you playing the victim, you do that shit well. You say I sing 1,000 lies and make it sound real. Back in the club like you used to. Try and love with you, I get let down like I'm used to. You gon' use a nigga and say that same nigga use you. Who bought them shoes you got on it? Who bought that coupe you ride around it? Who the one who for you till late night? You know I do that shit, just tell me I'm right. If I'm right, how you riding? Oh, are you down for the ride? Fuck with me for the diamonds. Oh, yeah. By your side until we get in a fight and you be gone for the night. If I'm right, how you riding? How the hell I think you were riding? Are you down for the ride? Fuck with me for the diamonds. Whoa. Why we by your side until we get in a fight and you be gone for the night?
And so it begins. See y'all in a minute. What's going on, everybody? Hold on a second. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Morning Brew podcast. Appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, I want this to be a very interactive podcast. So if you guys got anything you want to talk about, any questions, topics, just let me know. And in the meantime, let me know if you have any coffee recommendations. Tell me what you're drinking this morning. And if you have a recommendation, go ahead and put it in the comments. These comments are live. So if you post them while the video is going live, I will address them and we will bring you up and you can be featured on the Morning Brew podcast. First things first, man. How was your guys' weekend? I know I had a great one. Friday, went to the Dock Bar and Lounge, right on the back of Bucci's Italian restaurant. Just open. Awesome place. Sat down with Alex Sheridan. We shot a podcast, Sarita and myself. We shot a podcast with Alex Sheridan at the Dock. So if you haven't checked that out yet, it is on the Morning Brew podcast YouTube channel. So if you haven't subscribed to the Morning Brew channel on YouTube, go ahead, go over there and subscribe to it. It's at the Morning Brew podcast. The full video of us shooting the podcast with Alex Sheridan is posted on there. Sarita and myself had a great conversation with him, so go check that out. Sunday, went to Victory Rock Church in Galion, Ohio. It was a very inspirational, moving impactful healing service. My guy Martin Harris, who was with us every Thursday, was preaching that day. So I wanted to go show him support and see what he had to say, and he didn't disappoint. Um, like I said, great service, very healing to a lot of people, I'm sure, including myself. And if you get the chance, I highly recommend going and checking out Victory Rock Church in Gallion, Ohio. It's about 30 minutes away from Marion. So, yeah. Good morning, Stephen. Um, Stephen was also one of the pastors there. Just an all around great church. Really enjoyed myself. And like I said, Martin had a good word to share with everybody. Good testimony, and I think there was a lot of healing that came out of it, and a lot of people that could relate to his hardships. I mean, not maybe not specifically, but they have dealt with similar traumas, I'm sure. But yeah, just an all around great service. Had a great weekend, man. Got like I said, went to the Doc Bar and Lounge, sat down with Alex Sheridan, did a podcast with him, and then Sunday I got to go out to Victory Rock Church in Gallion, Ohio, and experience that great service. So yeah, just a great weekend. I was on here a little early listening to music just because I'm feeling rejuvenated, man. I had a good weekend. I connected with some good people that I hadn't seen in a while, and uh, just had a good time. So I was really looking forward to getting on here with you guys. This is a very therapeutic place for me, getting on here every morning and talking to you guys about, I mean, just life in general, and how we can improve as people and become better people. So, like I said, if you got any coffee recommendations, let us know what you're drinking in the comments, and let's get it started. First thing that I do want to say, though, and I did want to make sure that I talked about this. When I'm on here talking about certain topics, I don't want it to come off as I'm giving advice, because I'm definitely not on here to give advice. I'm not perfect. I don't have everything figured out. The way that I come up with a lot of these topics is because it is things that I have struggled with and still struggle with in my life. So I bring them here so that we can talk about them and hopefully together become better and improve as people. So I don't want you guys to feel like that I get on here and I'm giving advice like I got it all figured out and I'm perfect, because that's not the case. I'm literally having troubles currently in my life with these topics, and that is how I come up with these topics. So I bring them here, and hopefully we as a group, we as the Morning Brew, can figure out how to handle them in a better way and become better people. So that's the goal. I just wanted to say that because I was thinking about it, and I was like, man, I do kind of come off as like, oh, I got all the answers, and I'm just telling people how they should live their life and who they should be as people, and that's not the case. Like I said, a lot of these topics I come up with are because I still struggle with them myself, and I bring them to you guys to see if you can relate, and if you can relate, then we can find a solution together, and we can figure out how to become better people. So, first topic: don't let your past define who you are. Huge one. And this is one that people deal with a lot. And this is one that I deal with a lot, because you will get around people that at every chance they get, they will bring up your past, regardless of what you're doing now. If they feel threatened that you might one up them or you might take that next step where they're not, they will bring up your past every chance they get. And it's like, and you have to decide who you're going to let around you, because there are some people that are going to just constantly bring around that negative energy, and you do not have to be defined by your past. I'm sure we all made mistakes in our past that we regret, but you have to move on from them and be a better person today. So don't let people get around you and just constantly, every time they see you doing something good or they see you progressing in life, their first instinct is to just bring up your past and try to bring you down with what happened in your past. That's not who you are now. And it's like, okay, Stacy, it's like, okay, Stacy, I did do that in my past, but now I have this great career and I'm doing good for myself. And you're sitting over here living off your baby daddy's child support money and door dashing on the weekends. So don't try to bring up my past to bring me down to your current level. You know what I'm saying? Because we are not who we are in the past. You got to let go of your past. And if the people around you are not able to let go of your past and focus on what you're doing in the present, then they don't need to be around you. And that's just how it is. They don't need to be around you if they can't focus on what you're doing now. Because if you hold on to the past, then you're just gonna be stuck in it like quicksand. So the whole message is that we're looking forward. We ain't looking behind us. We're looking forward now. It's about progressing and becoming better people. If you want to hold on to the past, that's cool. Get away from me. I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? What I did in the past isn't who I have to be today. You know what I mean? Who you knew 5, 10, 15 years ago, that's not who I am today, because every day I'm on a mission to get better. So every day you come to me, you got to realize that I'm different. I'm doing something to try to make myself a better person. So don't treat me like I'm that person in the past, because I'm not that person in the past. And I'm gonna have that same level of respect for you. I'm not gonna bring up I'm not gonna bring up who you was in 2009. I'm not gonna bring up who you was in 2015, because there's been certain trials and tribulations that you had to endure that have made you mature and have made you progress as a person and a human being. So if there's people around you, and I know it happens all the time. It happens to me. If there are people around you, and every time you talk about something that you're passionate about doing, or something that you're proud of that you did, no matter how big, no matter how small, every time you talk about it, the first instinct that they have is, "Hey, you remember that time back in 2015 when you was doing that and this," and they try to put you down. You got to get away from people like that. It's that negative energy, man, and all it does is bring you down, and it makes you feel discouraged, and it keeps you from leveling up. So we have to be picky about who we let around us. Um, Joseph, yes, especially in relationships, I open up from my PTSD and everything, and females have actually used that as ammo and throw it in my face. Yeah, I mean, a lot of times that's why it's hard for men to be vulnerable. And I'm not saying that just women do it. Um, I think it's harder for men to be vulnerable, because a lot of times we fear that if we tell people our deepest, darkest, like, fears, or what bothers us the most, that they're just going to use it against us eventually. And I'm here to tell you, like, if you are around the right people, you should be able to confide in them and not have to worry about them bringing it up later on down the road and using it against you. And I mean, men do it too. I mean, it's a narcissistic trait. Like, you'll sit down and you'll make somebody think that they can trust you, and so you're just spilling your heart out to them, wearing your heart on your sleeve. And then when things go bad or they don't get their way, and they use that against you to try to tear you down and make you feel how they feel in that current moment. So yeah, I mean, it happens. It happens. Girls and guys both do it. Like, they'll make you feel like you can confide in them, and then when things go south, that's when they use it against you. It happens. It happens. But yeah, don't let your past define you. Let it go. You're not who you was yesterday. You know what I'm saying? We're on here to become better. And that's what we're going to do on the Morning Brew. You feel me? All right, so the search for true happiness. I wanted to challenge you guys today, and I want you to really step back and think about this. My dog in the background, he's trying to get another feature. I want you to really step back and think about this. Um, Step back and think to yourself, when was the last time that you was truly happy? And it might take you a minute, because a lot of people don't really step back and ever think about it. But I challenge you this morning to step back and think about, when was the last time that you was truly happy in your life. And when you come to a conclusion of when you were truly happy in your life, try to add more of that to your life. And when you think about the last time in your life that you was truly happy, I want you to ask yourself this: was money even a factor? The last time that I was truly happy in my life, was money even a factor? Or was it just because I was surrounded with people that I love and we were having a good time? And the reason why I say that is because I think people put too much emphasis on money. I think that people have this ideal that the only way that they can have happiness is if they hold on one second, y'all. My dog over here acting crazy. He decided to come in here and give himself a whole bath while I was on the podcast. Anyway, the search for true happiness. Um, because some people put too much emphasis on money, like I said. So I think a lot of people think that the only way to reach true happiness is by having loads of money. And I think that the only way, well, the biggest problem I have with that is with money. Yes, it does. Money does give you the freedom to go and find true happiness. But money is not responsible for you being happy, because you could be broke, but if you're around the right people in the right place, you're still going to be happy. So does money give you freedom to potentially go out and find happiness? Yeah. I mean, it gives you freedom, but it doesn't create the happiness, because there are a lot of people with all the money in the world, and it gives them all the freedom in the world, but they're still searching for happiness. They still can't find it. You know what I mean? So like I said, like the search for true happiness, think about one time in your life where you were truly happy and what was responsible for that happiness. And I can almost guarantee you money wasn't a factor in why you was happy. It was probably like Steven said, it was probably connected to identity, how you felt at the time, who you was, who when you were the last time you was really proud of yourself, or you were just around people that you loved and was having a good time. Like if I have to think about it, because I was thinking about it last night when I came up with this topic, I think the last time that I was truly happy was I was at my grandparents' house for Christmas years ago, and this was when all the family lived in Ohio. My grandparents were still alive. You know, my father was still alive, and we were just all together for Christmas. And I kind of had an outer body experience where I kind of just looked around and I was like, man, this is really like a movie. This is really like a Christmas movie. And I think that was the one time that I can remember where it was like true euphoric happiness. Like there was nothing else in the world that I could ask for then. And money was not a factor. I had no money then. I had no money. So I think people place too much emphasis on money, and they think that if you don't have money, then it's impossible to get happiness. And that's not the case, because all money does is give you freedom to be able to do what you want. But if you don't know what you need to do to reach happiness, then it's just as good as being broke. So Cox, what's up, man? Hey, I ain't seen you in a while. I seen you guys build a new house. Beautiful house, man. Appreciate you tuning in. Yeah, so but like Steven said, true happiness is directly connected to identity. Yeah, and I think a lot of people are searching for who they are as people. I think you're living happy. Yeah, I miss you, man. Miss you. It's been a while. It's been a while since I seen you. Man, I hope you're doing good though. For sure. But yeah, I think true happiness is directly connected to identity, like Steven said. Like a lot of people are searching for who they are as a person, and it's hard for them to be happy if they don't know who they are, or where they want to go in life, or what they want to do. So they kind of just feel down on themselves. But the main way I was going with that was I just felt like people put too much emphasis on money, and they think that that's directly connected to happiness, and I don't think that's the case. So, and next topic is spend more time on you and less at work. And hey, Cox, who just pulled up, he just got up here. I just pulled him up on here. Let me put him up on here, man. So Nate Cox, a little background on him. You guys know that I worked at the prison for 7 years. He was my captain at the prison. He eventually retired. So the topic for him is just like the topic: spend more time on you and less time at work. He's retired still that I know of. So he ain't working a whole lot at all right now. So he's really spending a whole lot of time on him. Uh, and I'm proud to see you being you, man. But that was my captain when I was working at the prison. And so I mean, just a little background on him, and he knows how much overtime we had to work at the prison. He knows how little free time that we got working at the prison. So I'm sure that he can relate to this topic a lot. Spend more time on you and less time at work. Listen, if you got the PTO, if you have the time to take it off, man. We're like, it's not wrong. It's not wrong to take time to yourself and decompress and do what you need to do to get you in a good mental space. Don't let your don't let your supervisors, don't let your coworkers, don't let them make you feel guilty because you're doing what you need to do to put you in a better mental space. Because only you know what you're going through. Nobody else knows what you're going through mentally. Only you know what you're going through. So don't be afraid to take that PTO because you don't want somebody to be mad at you, or you don't want to look like a bad worker. If you got it, use it. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's there for. And that was the biggest issue that I had. Like you would have bosses that would make you feel guilty about using your PTO. And it's like, why is it even here if I'm not able to utilize it? You know what I'm saying? So it's like they don't know what you're going through in life. They don't know what you're going through mentally. So you have to spend more time on you and less at work if possible. I mean, obviously, like, don't call off if you don't have the time or anything like that and you're going to get fired, and you just call in and be like, yeah, I need a mental health day, and you ain't even got the time to cover it. But if you got the time to cover it, use it, man. You got all these people like rolling over like 200 hours of PTO not using it. Like, use it. Spend time with your family. Make time for yourself, because I'm sure you guys have seen it a million times on Facebook and stuff. These places will replace you in a heartbeat. They will replace you in a heartbeat and forget about you in 2 days. As soon as you leave, you're an afterthought. You know what I mean? And they will replace you in a heartbeat. You're just a body doing what they need you to do in a certain amount of given time. So I mean, like, create. And this is one thing that I had to come to realization with was, when I was working at the prison, I realized that I was also trying to become a wedding videographer full time, but I was dedicating more of my time to a company that I work for than I actually was trying to build my own company. So I kind of started thinking about it like, man, if I really want to go do something for myself and create my own company, then what sense does it make for me to spend more time working for someone else than I actually spend working for my own thing? You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting here investing all this time into this company, doing what they need from me, when I could be using all that time to invest into my own company, get out of that situation, and do what I want and what I'm passionate about. So spend more time on you and less time at work if possible. Like I said, don't do it smart. Don't call off if you ain't got the time and get fired and all that. I mean, but do what you gotta do. Take care of yourself. Yeah, and yeah, like he said, always try to leave work at work. Be with yours all you can. And like, I can't even stress enough how much of a great role model he was, because there was a lot of kids, and myself included. When I started there, I was 20 years old. I think there were a lot of kids that worked in the prison when he was a captain there that were still trying to find their identity and figure out who they was. And he was a terrific role model for them. If they try to make you feel guilty, they are not a real boss. They have inner guilt. Yeah. And Cox was a great role model for them. I mean, like I said, there were a lot of younger kids working in a prison, and I mean, probably not their first choice of a career that they would like to do. And he was a good mentor and role model for them. So he never belittled people. He never made them feel less than. If you did something wrong, he would tell you that you did something wrong, but he would give you room to improve. He wouldn't make you feel like a piece of shit and make you want to quit. So yeah, I appreciate you, Cox. Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate the service that you gave while you was at the prison, man. Um, Next topic. You can't expect everyone to have the same heart as you. Huge one. I think people go around treating people well, and they expect other people to treat them the same way, and it just doesn't work that way. Some people are just shitty people, and that's just how it is sometimes. Some people are just shitty people. You can go around being nice to everybody and treating everybody like you have a heart of gold and doing what you think's right and everything like that, but some people are just shitty people, and you're not going to get that same energy reciprocated back to you. So going around expecting everyone to have the same heart as you and to be reliable and for you to be able to count on them, you're just setting yourself up for letdown. And I'm not saying there aren't any other good people out there like yourself, but you have to understand that you can't expect everyone to have the same heart as you, because it's not realistic, and you're kind of setting yourself up for letdown, because there are just some shitty people in the world, and you have to come to that realization. Um, there have been a lot of times where I've done things for people, and I put myself to the side, and I put their interests first because I care about them. And then when it comes time for them to do some of that same stuff, they don't do it, and it's that's when you have that realization. It's like not everybody is built like you. Not everybody is cut from the same cloth. You know what I mean? There are some people still working on themselves. It is, and sadly, when they eventually realize um, what they lost out on, it's going to be too late. But that's just how it is. That's how the world turns, man. Yeah, Cole said people will most definitely take advantage of your big heart. Yeah, I mean, and take advantage is exactly what it is. Like people will see people will see that you're willing to do, and instead of appreciating the steps that you take to do for them and appreciating the sacrifices that you make to help them, they'll take advantage of it. And I've said it a million times. You can say yes to people 1,000 times, and the only thing they'll focus on is the one time you say no. And it's like, what about all these times I said yes? What about everything I sacrificed to give you everything that you wanted? You know what I mean? What about them times that I took a hit to make sure that you were okay? And now when it comes back around, it's fuck me. So that people will take advantage of your big heart. But like I said on the last episode when I was talking about not losing faith in love, just because some people do that, you can't categorize everybody as the type of people to do that, because there are other people out there with big hearts that will reciprocate that energy and will give you some of that back. You know what I mean? You ain't the only person out here with a big heart. There are other people out here with big hearts too. And that's who I want to be around. I want to be around selfless people. I want to be around people who get joy from helping others out. I don't want to be around people that always got their interest in mind, that are always looking out for self, because we can't work together as a team. You know what I mean? We can't work together as a team. We can't progress as a team if that's what your mindset is at. So yeah, and you got people out here that will take advantage of a big heart, and they will, man. And it's hard to be someone who wears their heart on their sleeve, because people see that as an opportunity to take from you, take, get what they can, and then skate off. And that's how it works. But there are people out there just like you, and you'll find them, and you'll connect with them. So, and what goes with that is stop being a people pleaser. You could do everything right, and they will still find a reason to dislike you. Throughout your life, you can run into people, and you can do everything by the book, exactly how it's supposed to be done. You can be the greatest person in the world. Every opportunity you get, you help people. You do what you have to do, and some people will just still find a reason to dislike you just because you are who you are. I mean, there's no other reason for it except the fact that they don't like you. You know what I mean? It is literally their job to wake up in the morning, brew a cup of coffee, and figure out why they don't like you and what you're doing wrong. So stop being a people pleaser. Do what makes you happy. Take care of the people that you love, and the right people will be drawn towards you. Stop trying to please people. The only person that you need approval from, the only person that you need approval from is God. You know what I mean? Stop trying to. And I think Martin said something about this in his service on Sunday. People are so caught up in trying to get the approval of man. You know what I mean? Stop trying to please men. Stop trying to please other humans. They bleed just like you bleed. They make mistakes just like you make. The only person that you should be trying to get approval from is God. And if you feel like what you're doing is right, then that's all you need. You know what I mean? So stop being a people pleaser. Stop trying to please everybody around you. Stop letting them make you feel guilty because you're not doing enough for them. Or or they asked you for something and you did it 37 times, and on the 38th time you wasn't able to do it no more. So now they're making you feel like you ain't nothing because you wasn't able to do it for that 38th time. Stop trying to please people, man. Stop trying to please them. And I think that that'll be another way for you to find happiness is once you stop trying to please people and you actually start working on your own happiness and trying to be happy for yourself. You know what I mean? Can't please everybody. So just don't even try it. And this is a huge one. And this is one that I think people get confused a lot. Be patient, but not complacent. And what I mean by that is anything that's worth anything is going to take time. So keep putting that work in. Don't get discouraged, don't lose hope. Keep putting that work in over and over and over again and just be patient. Eventually the results that you want will come. Now, the difference between that and being complacent is you being content with your current situation, not putting the work in and expecting the results to just fall into your lap. That's not going to happen. So you have to draw that line between being patient and being complacent. When I tell you to be patient, I'm not telling you to just sit back and wait for stuff to drop into your lap because it ain't going to happen like that. It's not going to happen like that. That's being complacent. That's you sitting around not doing anything and expecting results to just fall into your lap. It's not going to happen like that. When I tell you to be patient, I mean find something you're passionate about. Keep putting the work in over and over every day, putting the work in, grinding, and not losing hope and not becoming discouraged because it doesn't happen today. Be patient and give it time while still putting the work in, and eventually you will see the results that you want to see. That's the difference between being patient and being complacent. Be patient, but that don't mean be lazy. You still got to put the work in. Just put the work in and wait. Put the work in and wait. If you're putting the work in and you're grinding every day, the results are going to come. You know what I mean? That's why I'm not worried about this podcast. If I get on here every day at 10 a.m. and I'm talking to you and somebody different jumps on every day, then eventually we're going to have a nice little society on here, a nice little ecosystem. Every time I get on here at 10 a.m., we're going to be able to get on here and we're going to be able to see somebody that ain't been on here before and has a different perspective on all these topics that we've been talking about. And that's what I want to do. I want the Morning Brew. I want this to be as diverse as possible. I want us to have people from all walks of life on here because everybody can bring a different, unique perspective on different situations. So be patient, but don't be complacent. Next, learn to accept imperfection. Perfection does not exist. Perfection does not exist. It's a myth. It doesn't exist. One reason why is because perfection is subjective. What one person could consider perfect, another person could look at as flawed. And what one person sees as flawed, another person could see as perfect. So perfect does not exist. That doesn't mean that we shouldn't constantly try to strive for perfection, Because if you try to strive for perfection, then you're only going to get better. But perfection does not exist. So what you have to learn to do is to accept perfection and stop beating yourself down because you didn't do something perfect or what you think is perfect. Because you're not going to reach perfection. You can strive for it, which I think we all should do because that's only going to make you better. But you can't beat yourself down because you don't think something's perfect. You know what I mean? Give your best effort at it. Give your best effort at it every time you go. Every time you go and punch that clock, no matter what it is. You give your best effort. Put your best foot forward. Do as good as you can. You're going to get better. You ain't never going to reach perfect, but you need to learn to accept imperfection. You know what I mean? Learn to accept it. Learn to deal with it. Because if every time if you get discouraged every time that you don't do something perfect or what somebody considers perfect, then you ain't going to be doing it for long. You're not going to be doing it for long because every time that you don't feel like it's perfect, then you're going to get down on yourself. You're going to get discouraged. You're going to feel like it's not meant for you. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. Learn to accept imperfection. It's all part of the process. It's all part of the process. You ain't going to be perfect. And then Cox, yeah, and he always had a good sense of humor too. If you guys can't tell, he said, "I'm pretty close." You're pretty close, man. I'll give you that. You're pretty close. But we have to learn to accept imperfection, man. I think a lot of people are too hard on themselves and they want to be perfect. And with the way social media is nowadays, they think perfect exists and it doesn't. There are a lot of people on social media. If you watch them, they kind of make it seem like perfection is a thing. I'm here to tell you it ain't. They got real life shit going on just like me and you behind closed doors. And I think that I respect people who show you the trials and tribulations that they had to go through to get to that point in their life. Because I mean they'll just pop out of nowhere with all these nice things and this good situation that they're in, but they don't tell you what it took to got there. They don't tell you what it took to get there. You know what I mean? There was a lot of imperfect shit that they had to go through to get to what you think is perfect now. You know what I mean? So don't get on social media, look at people's lives, see how good they're doing and everything like that, and make the mistake of thinking that perfection is a possibility. It's not. You're not going to be perfect. We're always going to be flawed, but I think that's what makes us unique and that's what makes us great in our own way. I don't want somebody that's perfect. If I'm out looking for friends or a relationship or anything like that, I don't want somebody that's perfect. That's boring. Perfect is boring. You ain't got nothing else you got to do to yourself. You don't have no room for improvement. You're not unique. You're perfect. That's boring to me. I want somebody that is flawed. I want somebody that's imperfect. Somebody that can go with me through this journey of life and become better as a person. And sometimes a lot of times, them flaws is what makes you unique as a person. You know what I mean? Who wants perfect? I don't want perfect. Angela said, Angela, faithful listener. She's on YouTube watching. If you guys ain't on YouTube watching, go subscribe. She subscribed. You know what I mean? And I said we posted that full video with Alex Sheridan at the dock. So if you haven't checked it out, go check it out. We're going to be posting more like that. We want to go around town and do full podcasts like that with the studio set up at local businesses and stuff. So go tune in. Go subscribe. I think we got like 18 subscribers. Hey, the grind is real. I told you, don't get complacent, but you got to be patient. This ain't going to happen overnight. A lot of people don't know what the Morning Brew podcast is right now, but I appreciate all you guys tuning in. Angela said, my favorite kind of people don't try to curate real life. Yeah. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't make it look like this shit's easy and everything's all rainbows and sunshine, because it ain't. It ain't. Some of the people that got the best looking lives on social media are going through some real life shit, man. Going through some real life shit. Nobody got there overnight, and nobody had to just fall in. I mean, some people had to just fall into their lap, but most people, man, you got to grind. You got to work for it. Be patient. And they said, how about you don't need to tell everyone your personal business to prove anything? If someone is trying to prove they are perfect on social media, they're worse off than they can admit. Yeah, I mean, that's a great point, because there are a lot of times where if you feel like you have to get on social media to prove something, then that just tells me that you're not whatever you're trying to portray on there. Because if you really had it like that, then you would have no need to get on social media and prove it. Like, okay, you got $100,000 in the bank. You're driving a Ferrari. You got this nice ass house, all paid off. You know what I mean? If you really got it like that, there ain't no need to showboat on social media. Just have it like that. But the fact that you're constantly on social media trying to prove to people that you got it like that tells me that you really ain't got it like that. Because if you did, why would you have to prove it? If I know for certain that I'm doing something or I'm in a certain situation or I got it like that, I don't have no need to get on social media and prove to you that I got it like that. The only time you feel like you got to prove yourself is when you're being kind of phony. Is when you're living kind of different than what you're portraying on social media. That's all, and that's a great point, Nate. That's a great point, man. That's a great point. If you got it like that, there ain't no need to prove it. Just have it like that. Curtis said, "God, do want to excel for sure." Yeah, just let me know, Kurt. Just let me know, and I'll come set. We can do a charged up one too. We can come set up and do one in there. I know you've been wanting to get on. I've been wanting to get you on, so we can definitely set up an Excel and get you on. And like Curtis said, maintaining is always harder than achieving it, no matter what it is. If you guys watched the full interview or the full podcast with Alex Sheridan at the dock, me and him talked about it, man. Like I think my last year at the prison, I made $56,000 that year, and a lot of it was from overtime. My first year after leaving the prison and going into weddings full time, I don't even think I broke $20,000. So that first year was rough. Imagine trying to live, imagine trying to imagine trying to fund such an expensive craft like videography, where the cameras literally cost thousands of dollars, lens thousands of dollars, computers, all that. Imagine trying to fund a craft like that and pay all the bills that you need to pay and be able to eat off of $18,000 a year. I'm telling you, man, that was a grind and that was a huge leap of faith. Now, it did get better over the years, but that first year that I left, man, it was a grind. Like, I really had to figure some shit out. And that was part of being patient, though. You know what I mean? I could have left and realized, damn, I only made $18,000 this year. I gotta go find something else full time. That ain't how I looked at it. You know, I looked at it as, damn, I only made $18,000 this year. I gotta put in more work to make this better. Like, I'm going to be a direct representation or a direct reflection of how good my business is doing. My work ethic is going to directly affect how good my business is going to do. So that first year of doing weddings full time after leaving the prison, I think I made like, if I'm not mistaken, I think I made $18,000 that year. And I had to make that work for a whole year. That was tough, man. The grind's real. And I think and Sarita said it in that podcast, because Alex was talking about like how he's had all these properties downtown in Marion and everything like that. And I think one of the biggest misconceptions is like, oh, he's got all these restaurants and he's got the brickyard and wedding venues and all these real estate properties. He's got to be rich as fuck. And he said he ain't been putting money into his pockets from none of that. I think one of the biggest misconceptions is he's just shoving mountains of money into his pockets. And I think people thought that because I got to a point where I left my job of 7 years and started doing weddings full time, that I was making a bunch of money. And I must have been in a great position if I was able to leave my job. That wasn't the case. That first year, I think I only made $18,000 and I was in a terrible position. But I had faith in the process, and I had faith in the fact that if I kept grinding and I kept putting in the work, eventually the results that I needed would come. And, you know, people glorify the end. People glorify the finish line. When really, I think the most admirable thing is the miles of consistent running that it took to get there, the miles of consistent grind that it took to get to that finish line. I think that's the most admirable thing. Because, I mean, you can put all the glitz and glam and glory of the finish line on there. I'm more interested in how you got there. You know what I mean? I'm more interested in the adversity that you had to go through to get to that point, because that's what really is a true testament to your character, is what you had to deal with, what you went through to get to that point, and you came out of it. You know what I mean? Came out of it. And Curtis said maintaining it is always harder than achieving it, no matter what. Yes. Yes. Because when you're on that initial route to getting to where you want to go, that is when you are going to experience the most passion, because you haven't got to that finish line yet. You haven't achieved what you want to achieve yet. So I'm not saying it's easy, but I think that's the easiest time to get to that point, because that's when you have the most passion. You've never experienced that amount of success. So your drive is at an all-time high to get to that finish line. Now, like Curtis said, maintaining it is another story, because once you get there and you've experienced it and you know what it's like and you know what it took to get there, it's very hard to get complacent. It's very hard to get to that point and lose that drive and lose that passion to keep it consistent and keep it where you want to be. You know what I mean? Because like with me, like I'm always like thinking of new things that I want to do. So I did realize, like, I got to a point where I got to where I wanted to be doing weddings. And I reached that level of success with weddings that I wanted to reach. And then I started thinking of all this other stuff that I want to do, and I kind of pushed weddings to the side a little bit. Not realizing that that was the thing that gave me freedom. That was the thing that allowed me to leave my job of 7 years. So it's real easy to get complacent and lose passion and drive for things once you get to that point. Maintaining is always harder than achieving it. It's always. Curtis said, I've owned multiple businesses since high school. The easiest part of being an entrepreneur is opening a business. Time either makes you or breaks you. The grind to open up has to double. The grind to open up has to double to keep it running. Too many people get comfortable after a door opens. Yeah. And I mean, I think a big part of it is like social media. Like people are grinding their ass off, working every day, hard as they can, super passionate, high drive to get to that point just so they can tell people, look what I did. And then once all that attention that they got fizzles out, then they kind of lose interest in it. Like, oh man, you know what I mean? Like yeah, that initial announcement, like, of me getting to this point was awesome. But now it's kind of like people kind of forgetting about it a little bit. You know what I mean? People ain't giving you that praise every day on social media. Like, look at what he did. So you have to be able to get to that point and do it for you and your family, and not worry about the praise that you're getting from people on social media. Like, the hardest part is keeping that drive and that passion, especially because before you open that business, you ain't had to deal with half the shit you're about to deal with once you open it. You know what I mean? You ain't had to see the ugly side of people. You ain't had to deal with people that are just on the fucking prowl trying to find something wrong with your business. You know what I mean? Running around telling people all kinds of negative shit about what you're doing. You ain't had to. There's a lot of ugly people out here, man. And I don't mean physical features. I mean like mentally, in their heart, ugly people out here. You ain't had to talk to 10, 20 people a day and remember all those conversations that are going on. It's a mental toll. And this shit's 24/7. This ain't like working a 9 to 5. This shit takes a mental toll on you. And you got to be on call 24/7. And if you don't respond to somebody in a timely manner, it don't matter what day of the week it is. It don't matter if it's 3 o'clock in the morning. If you don't respond to somebody in a timely manner, they get real ugly real quick. Because they don't sit back and they don't think about, like, oh man, it's a Saturday night and it's midnight. He probably is just, either sleeping or spending time with his family. They don't think about that. All they know is I paid you, and if you don't talk to me, then I'm fucking going to try to destroy your business. And that's how it is, man. It's a dog eat dog. And I've said it before on here. You got to have thick skin if you want to do some shit like this. You got to have thick skin because people will try to crucify you real quick. And a lot of it is because that society has molded people into instant gratification, ordering off Amazon and getting their package tomorrow. opening an app, ordering food, and having it in 20 minutes. You know what I mean? It's not easy to run a business nowadays. It's not easy to keep that passion and that drive to want to run a business. After you've got to that finish line and you've opened that business, like Curtis said, the hardest thing to do is maintain that success, because it's real easy to get complacent. Sean Riker said, on average, overnight success takes about 20 years. Keep pressing forward. Yeah, and I mean, and 20 years, and I'm like, yes, like I can't press this enough. Like, success isn't an overnight thing. And if you're one of them people who start something, and if you don't experience success in the first couple of years, it ain't for you. You know what I mean? You have to have a very high tolerance to failure. You have to have a very high tolerance to people questioning what you're doing, whether or not it was the right thing, whether or not you made the right decision in your life, or you just became a fool, pretty much. I mean, and like Sean said, never mind the horse, just keep the load in the wagon. I mean, yeah, trying to open a business, man, I could talk about this forever. Like, but trying to open a business, like, first things first, like, the hardest part is maintaining the success once you get that business open. And then if you don't experience the success that you thought you were going to in that first couple of years, you're going to have all the naysayers around you. They're gonna talk about, oh, how it's failing. You made the wrong decision. So not only do you have to worry about trying to maintain this business, not only do you have to worry about all the mental struggles that come with running the business, but you also have to come with the critics around you questioning whether or not you made the right decision. And a lot of times it's going to be your family members or the ones you love, because they're the ones that are directly impacted from it a lot of times. So they're going to question what you did and whether it was the right decision. And when you have enough people questioning your decisions, it's only natural that you start questioning your own decisions. So, and then you start second guessing yourself. Is this something I really want to do? You know what I mean? But just focus on how far you came. Instead of looking at how far you have to go, just look. I know I said we wasn't focusing on the past, but in this case, look back and just see how far that you came, instead of just focusing on how far you have to go. As long as you stay consistent and be patient, put the work in, keep grinding, you're going to get to where you need to get. Like Curtis said, the hardest thing is to not lose that drive, not lose that passion, and maintain that same level of success. Another challenge that I have for you guys. This is slowly turning into a self-improvement podcast, because I want us all to get on here, be able to talk about whatever, and just become better people. We're on here drinking our morning coffee, discussing life, and trying to become better people, man. Vocalizing your thoughts or keeping a journal helps. And it does. That's a real big reason why I get on here with you guys in the morning and do this Morning Brew podcast. Because when I vocalize something, and it's the same for people who choose to just journal it and write it down. When I vocalize something, I'm able to look back on it and I'm able to see how I feel in a different light than just having it in my head and going through my thoughts. I'm able to see how I feel in a different light and really break it down and figure out why I feel that way and what caused me to feel that way and how I can improve on that. So I think just vocalizing your thoughts or keeping them in a journal can really help you throughout your life. Organize your thoughts and see them in a different light and break it down and find solutions to your problems and just figure out how to go about your day in a different way. So just try it, man. I mean, even if you're getting on here with me at 10 a.m. and you're commenting something that's been going on with you in your life that you've been struggling with, or something that you've noticed about yourself as a person that you could probably improve on, comment on here, man. There are probably so many people that can relate to you on it. And there are probably so many people who have found a solution for it or found something that helps them with it. I mean, just putting it out there, just vocalizing your thoughts or keeping a journal and helping you get whatever you got going on up here and putting it out into the world and dealing with it. It helps me. I mean, like I said, getting on here with you guys in the morning, I don't care if it's just one listener on here. This is therapeutic for me. This helps me because I can really go back. I can really go back over it, listen to it, and see my thoughts in a different light, from a different perspective, and really self reflect and break it down and deal with it. You know, so this is a huge one. I think a lot of people got to work on this, and I just see it so much on social media. Being content with being alone. And I mean, you could apply this to anything, friendships, relationships. How many times do you guys, how many times do you get on social media and every time you get on social media, it's the same girl or guy and they're constantly in a new relationship with somebody? Like you get on Facebook now and there's just that one girl or that one guy and they're constantly in a new relationship with someone. It's almost like they cannot bear the thought of being by themselves for a little while. It's like they have to be with someone for them to be happy. And you have to learn to be content with being alone because just like we said earlier, having a big heart, people are going to take advantage of the fact that you cannot be alone. I mean, it's not hard to see. You can get on Facebook now and you can find somebody. You might even have somebody in mind that you know they just can't be alone. Like they constantly just have to be in a new relationship. They break up and then 2 weeks later, they're with somebody else. So people see that and they prey on that. Oh, they can't be alone. They need somebody in their life. You know what I mean? They're not capable of functioning by themselves. You have to stop relying on other people for your happiness. You have to figure out how to be content with being alone. Find out how you can be happy by yourself. If you can't be by yourself and be happy and be content with that, then you ain't bringing a real good version of you to a relationship. So jumping around from relationship to relationship is not going to help you with anything. It's just going to be temporary happiness that is eventually going to burn out, and then you're just going to have more of a need to be in another relationship because you're still heartbroken from your last one. It's a vicious cycle. It's a vicious cycle. Willie Mays Hayes. Until you can be content with being alone, I feel like you never really take the time to work on yourself. Yeah. And I mean, you can't. I mean, there are just so many people and we all know them. We all know who they are. There are just so many people who, as soon as they get out of a relationship, they don't really reflect on their own behavior and figure out what they might have done to cause the relationship to end. They don't go out and enjoy time with themselves. They don't go find something that really makes them happy or find something that they're passionate about. The first thing on their mind when they get out of a relationship is to go find somebody else to confide in and be with because they can't handle that heartbreak. Their remedy for that heartbreak has become new temporary relationships, but they don't realize that that's just going to end the same way if they're not ready. If they're not in the mental space, if they're not in the right mental space and they're not ready for a new relationship, then it's just going to end up like their last one. So if you get out of a relationship, let me put that back up there. If you get out of a relationship and you're heartbroken and you're just real down on yourself, go find something that makes you happy. Go do something for you. Go figure out who you are as a person. Self-reflect, improve, become a better you before you just jump into another relationship for the wrong reasons. Because that's what I see a lot. People get with somebody, they break up, and they jump into another relationship as fast as they can for the wrong reasons. And the wrong reasons would be they're searching for something to cure a heartbreak. Well, then you're searching for a relationship for the wrong reasons, because if you're searching for it for that reason, then it's only going to end up in another heartbreak because you never really fixed yourself. You never really gave yourself time to heal. So be content with being alone. Stop looking for the next best thing. Stop moving on from your current relationship and trying to find something else as fast as you can. If you get with somebody and you guys break up, why are you in a rush to go get with somebody else? Learn to be content with being alone. Stop relying on other people to bring your happiness. You should be solely responsible for your happiness. if you rely on other people as the main source of your happiness, it ain't gonna work. If you're not able to be happy by yourself, with yourself, it ain't gonna work. Like you said, you gotta love yourself first. It's the most important thing. We talked about it the other day. If you're in an airplane, the airplane's going down. You gotta put your oxygen mask on first, or else you're gonna pass out and you ain't gonna be able to help nobody. You gotta take care of you first. Bring the best version of you into a relationship, and that gives you the best chance of succeeding in that relationship. If you're just jumping from relationship to relationship to relationship just so you can be with somebody to confide in and get temporary happiness, then you're never going to find permanent happiness, because you're just doing it for the wrong reasons. You don't even really like this dude. You know what I mean? You just broke up with old buddy, and you jumped into this relationship with old dude. You don't even really like him, don't even really know nothing about him, but he's showing you some attention and he's making you feel better. So you just hurry up and jump into that. You're doing it for the wrong reasons. And for that reason, that's why it's going to end on bad terms. And that's why it's going to end altogether. Seek feedback without getting defensive. Constructive criticism is vital for improvement. Hey, too many people, hold on, let me get to this. It's called codependence. Yeah. And it comes with maturity. It comes with maturity because I do see it in a lot of younger people. And they kind of get addicted. They kind of get addicted to having someone around, and they've never really had to live without someone else. But I think it's very important and almost vital that you spend a few years by yourself. Spend a few years by yourself. Really look deep into your soul and figure out, hey, what do I need to do to become a better person? How can I become a better lover for someone else when I finally find someone that I want to invest my time in, and someone that I really want to take on this journey of life with? How can I really become a better lover and a better person deep into my soul? And seek feedback without getting defensive. Constructive criticism is vital for improvement. I always try to do this, man. And you guys know Sarita gets on here with me on Fridays. I'm always messaging Sarita whenever I have an idea for this. And I always ask her, how you feel about this? You think we should do this? Do you think it's dumb if I do this? Stuff like that. Like, I'm always asking the people around me. And I've made it very clear to the people around me. If I have an idea and it sounds stupid, then tell me it's stupid and tell me why it's stupid. I'm not going to get defensive, because all you're doing is you're saving my time. You know what I mean? And there might be times where I come up with an idea and somebody don't like the idea, but I see potential in it that they can't, so I might still do it anyway. But there are times when I'll just have a spur of the moment idea and I don't really put much thought into it, and then I gotta tell it to someone around me just to see, like, am I reacting off impulse, or is this actually a good idea? And then they kind of keep me level headed, like, nah, that probably ain't a good idea, man. Like, you don't really need to do all that. Like, I don't really think so. Keep people around you that aren't afraid to be honest with you. You know, if you always got just what I like to call them is a bunch of yes men around you, you ain't never gonna improve. You need a solid circle around you that you can go to whenever you're about to make a big decision, or you have a new idea, that you can tell them about it, and they can tell you what they don't like about it and what you should probably do instead. And that is what constructive criticism is: being able to take criticism. Now, not somebody hating on you, or just every time you present them with something that they always try to find negative in it, but someone who's going to say, like, okay, yeah, I see where you're going with that, but I think you should do it this way. Always seek feedback, man. Don't act like you know everything. You know what I mean? Go to people, ask them how you can do things better. Ask them if they think an idea would be a successful idea, or if it was just an impulse thing. Like, ask the people around you. And that goes to the next topic, like surrounding yourself with the right people. Sometimes less is more. You don't need a big circle. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes, like, because I know a lot of people, they like to be surrounded by a bunch of people. Like, it makes them feel good, and it makes them feel popular, I guess, it makes them feel good about themselves to have a lot of people around them and keeps them, like I said, from being lonely. And they haven't figured out how to be alone yet. Surround yourself with the right people. It don't matter if you just have 2 people in your circle. Sometimes them 2 people could have more of an impact on your life than 8 people in your circle. Because if those 8 people in your circle aren't doing anything or help or giving you constructive feedback or pushing you in the right direction or giving you new ideas, then it's just a waste. But if you have them 2 people, that 2 people in your circle that are constantly drilling you, like, bro, what are you doing? You're kind of slacking. You got to get back on track. And they're kind of nitpicking at your ideas and they're telling you how you can improve on it. That circle with the 2 people in it is more valuable than the circle with 8 people in it. So, I mean, just surrounding yourself with the right people makes all the difference in the world. Sometimes less is more. You don't need a huge circle. Sometimes you just need the right people in that circle. And less can be more. 2 people in your circle can be better than 8 people in your circle, depending on what they do for you. So, hey, I appreciate you guys tuning in for another episode of the Morning Brew podcast. I was looking forward to getting on here. I love Mondays because the weekend seems like it takes forever, and I just have a whole bunch of stuff that I want to talk about. So when I get on here on Mondays, I can't wait to talk to you guys. Like I said, if you haven't yet, go over to the Morning Brew podcast on YouTube. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Anytime we go live on here, it will be live on Facebook and also YouTube at the same time whenever we go live. I love for these to be interactive podcasts. I love for you guys to get on here and interact with me and talk to me about things and bring your own topics if you got them, and we'll talk about it. But like I said, I appreciate you guys tuning in. And until I see you tomorrow, I'll be on here tomorrow at 10 a.m. For those of you that don't know the schedule, I've posted it before, but for those of you that don't know, Monday through Wednesday, I'm on here at 10 a.m. by myself. And then Thursday, we have Pastor Martin Harris on here from Victory Rock Church. And Friday, I'm on here with Sarita Lawrence. And then Saturday and Sunday is our days off. But yeah, appreciate you guys tuning in. And I will see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. on the Morning Brew podcast.